Hey everyone, welcome to Mr. U's Reviews. Today I'm reviewing the new film, The Banshees of Inisherin, which follows two lifelong friends, Podrick and Colum, whose friendship comes to an end after Colum suddenly decides that he just doesn't want to be friends with Podrick anymore, and this causes consequences for the both of them. First of all, let's talk about the performances in this film, because this film really showcases how great these actors are. And you have Colin Farrell, who plays Podrick, and he's the friend that is being cut off. So he goes through kind of all these stages of grief when he first hears that Colin doesn't want to be friends with him anymore. And there's even like a 10-second shot where right after he hears that, at first he looks like, oh, my friend is just joking. And by the end of those 10 seconds, he's like, oh no, Colum is serious about this. He goes through that even without the fantastic dialogue, which I'll talk about later. Even scenes where he just has to emote, you really see that. And he shows all that through his facial expressions and movements. And then you have Brendan Gleeson, who plays Colum, and he's very serious in that he doesn't want to be friends with Podrick anymore. And I love that about his character and the way that Gleeson performed, as him. He really played him so well in that he is very serious about this. He's not gonna budge, and he will go to great lengths to make sure that Podrick understands that his decision is final. So he was a highlight here. But one of the actors that really shined, in my opinion, was Kerry Condon, who plays Podrick's sister, Siobhan. And her character is kind of the one that is spectating the situation. She is witnessing kind of the fall of this friendship. And in a way, like the audience is kind of like her, as we are witnessing, the fall of their friendship in our perspective. And she has her own hopes and dreams, which I really liked seeing. We kind of root for her a bit. And one more actor that I really want to talk about is Barry Keoghan, who I first saw him in The Killing of a Sacred Deer, also with Colin Farrell, that film. And I thought he was such an interesting actor in that film, and I knew he had a career ahead of him because he chooses these interesting roles but plays them very realistically. So I thought he shined here as well. So this really is a film of great performances. Now let's talk about the directing and writing of this film by Martin McDonagh, and I thought that he directed this film very well. He uses, classic kind of directing choices here to convey certain themes and certain aspects of this film. One choice that really stood out was the way he kept the camera still during certain scenes with these two ex-best friends, kind of to showcase the stalemate of the friendship between these two main characters. Decisions like that really highlight the themes here. But it's McDonagh's writing and dialogue here that really stands out. With this major theme of somebody cutting someone out from their lives, telling them, oh, I don't think we should be friends anymore, or being on the opposite side of that, maybe you being cut from someone's life is, it's something that was interesting to watch because we haven't really seen it as a major theme of a film before, even though it's something that I think most people can relate to a certain extent. So it was really interesting to watch because of that from start to finish. So I really liked that as a big theme of this film. And with the dialogue, the film takes place on Inisherin, which is a fictional island in the country of Ireland. So you have certain Irish slang here, the Irish dialect. It really brings you into this world, very immersive because of that. And the dialogue also highlights the tragic elements of the film. Hearing your best friend tell you that they don't like you anymore, they don't want to be friends with you anymore, it can be quite sad to hear. So the film really hones in on that, but it can also be very comedic, just the certain ways that this story progresses, and just certain scenes of dialogue can be comedic because characters repeat each other, things like that. It kind of brings those scenes of dialogue to the forefront because it shows you how people think on this island since they are repeating each other, things like that. Very interesting to watch. So a great blend of the tragic elements here and the comedic elements here. One thing though that took me out of the film was a certain character does something, and I don't know if it was really realistic that they would go to that extent. I don't know if that would happen in real life. Now maybe it's to kind of showcase the dark comedy elements of this film, but I thought it was a little unrealistic that the character really did this to kind of prove their point. But other than that, the dialogue and screenplay of this film were both really strong and some of the best of this year. Let's also talk about the cinematography of this film, because this is a gorgeous film to watch. The island of Inisherin has a whole lot of green throughout the different landscapes. And there's an early shot of the film where we see Parik walking through town, and there's like a rainbow behind him, which I don't know if that was done on purpose, but it really highlights kind of how happy Parik was in the beginning of the film before he learns from his friend that he doesn't want to be friends with him anymore. So it kind of progresses the story along. So I thought the cinematography really added to that. And the fact that the film takes place on an island does create a sense of coziness because everybody knows each other on the island. They mostly do the same actions. But this also creates a sense that you can't really progress with your lives. It's always going to kind of stay static because you see the same people, you do the same actions every day. And that's a major theme of this film because characters are yearning for a more dynamic lifestyle. They want to progress forward. And even the score by Carter Burwell feels kind of mysterious, kind of urgent at times as we're wondering what's going to happen next with this friendship because it's breaking apart. So how are certain characters going to react next? Things like that, it really elevates this film than it would have been without those elements of the score and the cinematography. So overall, I thought The Banshees of Inisherin was one of the standouts from this year of films. The performances, directing, screenplay, cinematography and score, all these elements really come together so well. And there was one part of the film, one part of the story that I thought was a little unrealistic. It took me out of the film, just a certain thing that a character does. But other than that, I really enjoyed this film, and I give The Banshees of Inisherin an A-. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and feel free to follow me on Letterboxd. I put the link down below in the description. And as always, don't forget your popcorn. Until next time, from Mr. U to you, stay tuned.